Good to see you.
Alright there, Evidence. Welcome back to Code Vein in the Road to 100, where today we're going to be in the City of the Falling Flame, and we're going to have a little bit of fun here with the Bayonet. It's just called the Bayonet. And the reason this Bayonet is actually a lot of fun is the fact that it is pretty unique in the space of bayonets, and the fact that it does crush damage when it is doing its slashing pattern that does crush damage. And when it shoots, it does pierce damage. So it's actually one of the only weapons in the game that actually tells you straight up off the card exactly what it is and exactly what it's doing. So very, 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 very strange that way in how this thing operates. And we are in volley here, and we are quick mobility, which is very, 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 very nice. And we're also going to have Ichor strikes here, so whenever we get focused, which can be quite a lot here in the City of the Falling Flame, especially with the Emily fight, and this reduces the cost of shooting down to 1 Ichor when you are shooting. So when you're focused, you get some exceptional recovery, or some bonus there for having your weapon being a bayonet. And so since you're actually using this quite a bit when you're focused, you know, having your shots only cost 1 Ichor and doing in the 2,000 to 3,000 range damage is pretty acceptable, especially when how fast they can be taken. So as we go along here, we will be up over the 200 mark for flame defense, which is great. And you'll see that when we engage here with Mia, she gives us first stack of blood-sucking blades, which helps us to, you know, obviously it helps us to get up to that 160 mark for flame reduction, and it also helps us get a huge amount of Ichor recovery on our weapon. So since this area is weak to crush as well as Emily, it makes for a really good way to go about using this bayonet in this area specifically. So see here, for these guys, what we will need to be doing here is we need to be shooting, and oops, and that is very, very nice. And we need to get focused as well at some point. There we go. And now our bayonet shots only cost 1 Ichor, and we get 10 Ichor when we get focused from Ichor recovery, or from focus recovery. Ichor focus. Ugh, sorry. And the nice thing is that everything only costs 1 Ichor to shoot during focus time, which is very, 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 very nice. And we still have a problem here of, you know, not being able to make full unadulterated use of our blood code, or of our bayonet here. And so it's kind of an interesting type of a build set, because it's a mix of doing actual weapon strikes and doing bayonet shots, because we do have a pretty hefty Ichor pool here, cost problem that we have to deal with. It works out to be more of a melee kind of a build set here, rather than a true bayonet shooting at a distance set, which is fine. You need all kinds, and so that is really, really nice that this bayonet actually does play into more of a melee range, melee kind of attack setup and stuff. Whoops. Okay. And okay, we're getting bullied here. Ouch. Okay. Okay. Oh, and we're dead. Thanks, Mia. Alright, let's see if we can get over here, get some shots off. Well, that went about as bad as it ever could go. Actually dying in that corridor there. Unfortunately, we got stuck with that guy, and we couldn't get our shots off in that tiny little corner there, but that's okay. And because we have pretty good recovery on our weapon attacks overall. Oh shoot, I forgot to let our gifts run down. That's unfortunate. But because we do have a continuous slashing pattern there, it's a well, but it's crush damage. Keep that in mind. Because the pattern is continuous, we can go from attack to attack to attack to attack without the backwards dodge interrupting our attack string. So like when an enemy is staggered or something like that, we can do very, 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 very well, whoops, to recover Ichor along the way there. So that's really, really nice. So let's go ahead and head on in here. So like this, as you can see there, we can recover a huge amount of Ichor very, very quickly, very, very easily. Okay, let's go for some focus here. Good. Awesome. And we'll go for a launch here. Then we'll go for a couple of shots, maybe. Okay, so pretty good overall there to keep those shots pumping into him with Mia there. And because she's also doing bayonet shots, and she has actually really good aim. Regular Mia has pretty good aim overall. She always hits her target, typically. But the problem with this bayonet is, as you can see, we have exceptionally short range. Just like the Lost Bayonet that we showed kind of at the beginning of the beginning of this run. This shares the exact same you know, slash pattern and all of that. So keep that in mind, that it's kind of a different kind of a setup here that you're going for overall. So kind of interesting. Okay, let's get some Ichor here and get. Ouch. That's why I want to get some Ichor going here. Come on. Alright. Okay. We are just getting hammered. Alright, but not a problem, because this City of the Falling Flame typically is a pretty easy place, and so it's fine if we take a little bit of beating here and there. And again, you could be using your focus tricks that we learned from the Ashen Cavern just a little bit ago to continue your Ichor recovery or your focus positioning along the way here. So we could be doing that, but this is a lot more fun to not have basically infinite focus, to actually try and figure it out here along the way. So let's go ahead and heal. Okay, and heal. Now we do have the ball here. Now typically you're running slash through here, but because we are running crush, we can take these balls out very, very, very quickly, because our bayonet is a crush bayonet, which is very, very nice. And you can see there, we do exceptional damage just because we are doing crush. So that's really, really, really good stuff overall when you stop and think about it, that you have a bayonet that does crush damage, and that also means that you have very, very good stagger in boss fights. Whoops. Okay. I don't know what this guy's doing, but he's not giving me a good time here. So let's go for this and this and this, and we'll keep our focus up here, so we can shoot him down, and then we can gun this guy down. Very good. Okay, so that's a little bit of a way that you can go about using your focus bar to get you, more attacks than you normally would and such. And that can be a little trick to remember along the way here. Alright, so as we get into this fella yet again, go for Hunting Feast, and this, good, and Bridge to Glory is fine. Oh, no, that's not good. Go for some shots here. Whoa. Okay. Guess we'll just take some backstabs here. So that's the nice thing about the City of the Falling Flame, is that you can kind of take it easy here. Ouch. And because we have a um, a bayonet here along the way, we're able to, you know, well, we're dying pretty quick here. Okay. Okay. I can't figure out what's going on. There we go. There we go. Where did this thing come from? Okay. Whatever. Completely losing my train of thought here, if you can't tell. But the bayonet is a pretty good bayonet overall. It's a little bit better than the Lost Bayonet, obviously, but the cool thing about it is that it does crush damage, which you don't find that very much in one-handed swords or bayonets at all. But then to find it here, so that you have crush and pierce, and if you had a slash blood veil, you could have all three damage types with your blood veil and everything. So it's a very, very interesting kind of bayonet that you can pick up in the depths maps, and it comes with a Devour Chrome, which is very nice. And so you can get that pretty early on. Actually, I think it's in the Den of the Dead or Den of Darkness, one of those. And you just head on up, and it's a chest, very easily accessible, and so you can find that pretty simply. Okay, so as we get into the Emily fight here, you're typically focused like all the time with her. Excuse me. So it's pretty easy here for us to figure out how to get through her. And you can see Mia now using her Guard of Honor, because the enemy is actually weak to ice damage, and so she will go ahead and use it. And you see here that we do crush damage, and so Emily is weak to crush, and so she will stagger a lot more often with this bayonet than other weapons. Okay, we are focused. Okay, and you can see that that's a great way to maintain our damage out. Okay, we're focused. Excellent. Okay, good. That was some good damage there. Okay, let's go for more weapon strikes here. Okay, and you can see that she staggers quite often with this bayonet, just because of the fact that we're doing crush damage. Sorry, Emily, your life was a good example here, but doing crush damage is a pretty nice thing when you can do it in like a one-handed weapon or in a bayonet or in a something like that, because you get so many attacks off before you run out of stamina excuse me, that you always get a really good chance to stagger bosses, stagger enemies, so on and so forth, and it doesn't come at a huge stamina cost like the two-handed weapons or the hammers cost you. So that is where this bayonet excels exceptionally, is just in the physical arena. And if an enemy happens to be you know, struck down by a charge drain or a regular drain attack or something like that, you can do very well in overall. And if we go for something like this, you can still have 157 fire resistance, so you don't really need the fire chrome on there. I was just going for it just to make sure that we you know, had enough flame resistance. But what I wanted to say was that if you hit an enemy down excuse me, sorry, with the charge drains or whatever, then you can shoot them while they're on the ground pretty easily, pretty handedly. And so since we're not, you know, doing anything here, we could change these out for all kinds of cool stuff, like overdrive. We could take that, and then like concentration or something of that sort, that we could make sure that we're, you know, getting uh, getting a little bit of health back or the like. And so if you really wanted to, you know, take this kind of all the way here, obviously overdrive would help our weapon strikes as well as our bayonet shots, which is kind of nice. Okay, and you can see here that crush damage staggered him there for just a split second. And we'll go for some bayonet shots here. We got 4 shots, 4 charge shots. So we'll go for this guy. And we have plenty of damage if we need it, which is really, really nice if that is the case. Okay, and again, we have a ball here. And you can see that it staggers all the time because we are doing crush damage. It has like no balance, and we're able to, you know, well, I'm gonna fall. And we're able to completely shred those balls whenever, wherever. And Cumiya? Okay, and that this is where the bayonet can actually do some pretty good work overall. Is just the fact that if you're looking for a different kind of way of using a one-handed weapon, it's more of like a one-handed weapon that has the option to shoot enemies that are in a weakened kind of a state. That if you have a little bit of ichor that you've recovered from doing your slashes, you can use the kind of auxiliary attachment. So it's not really a bayonet straight up as the name suggests, but it's more of a cool one-handed weapon that has the ability to shoot an enemy every now and then in different kind of unique circumstances where you actually have enough time to do the entire full charge attack. But when you are paired up with all the charge accelerators and everything, it actually does pretty well to act as an actual shooting gun. And the neat thing here is that we had all that damage out, and even though we have a mind of C here as our scaling, and what I wanted to show about it was that we have an S plus in mind here, S plus plus or SS plus or whatever, because we're above S plus here, that you can use your mind stat as a decent alternative to a willpower stat. And so if you're going for a bayonet, you can definitely want to capitalize on willpower, but also if you have a if you have a high enough mind value as well, that can act as a surrogate for having high shot damage. And so that's kind of a strange way to play it, but you know, we did it. And this is one of the better bayonets at close range that you can get a hold of, and it does very well. And if I had to choose a one-hand or like a crossover one-handed bayonet, I would probably choose this one just because of the fact that it does crush damage. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you here in the Crown of Sand tomorrow. Thanks, and we'll see you then.